Hey, what's up, guys? How are you today? Hope you're all doing fabulous. I am just finishing my walk, so I'm super flush. It's very humid out here. I'm sweating my butt off, but I'm trying to get my swing in because that's my reward for walking. I was sticking with the 3 mile thing, but when you come outside, there's many variables that exist, like the humidity here in Chattanooga, and also mosquitoes love me, and especially if I come walk. It's been raining like earlier in the day. Like if it rains later in the day, then I would go to the gym, but I haven't had to do that in a while because it has rained earlier, and I will come out and walk in the wet park, swing in a wet swing. Like, I don't give a hoot, but the mosquitoes love me, so had a lot of energy today. I tried to come out here early since it monsooned earlier and got that out of the way, but I don't want to go to the store all sweaty. You guys can see me sweaty because you can't smell me. People in the store, if I don't ventilate a little bit, they're the ones tortured. But I have to get some food, so I figured I will make you a little video while I swing. The crickets and the cicadas are already out. I also wanted to say at the beginning that I don't just call out Christians for things that don't make sense, or for spreading hate and, condemning and stuff like that. I will call out the spiritual community too. So I wanted to call out a couple of things that I noticed. One being, I saw this card reader, which I didn't stay to listen to the reading because I haven't listened to any readings in a while. But I really like him. I think he's from Australia. He has this awesome accent. So, I listened to the Aussie and him give his little intro because I haven't heard him in a while. And I was like, hey, friend, and he starts talking about how prayer, you can pray, but just know that it's extremely low vibrational. And I was like, hey, no, I'm not going to let that fly, even if he is, my internet friend. He doesn't know me, by the way, but I'm familiar with him. We are familiar friends. So he's offered a lot of inspiration to me in the past, but I will still call a brother out if he needs to be set straight. And it's not that prayer is always high vibrational. It is not. It is in the way that you pray. So what he said is not 100% wrong, but he should offer some pointers and not just say end all be all. Prayer is low vibrational. You shouldn't do it. Do it. Do it. That is your connection to the divine. Meditate. Do it. Have a relationship with God by all means, no matter what you choose to call it. But the difference in being low vibrational and high vibrational when it comes to prayer is you should never create a sense of lack. You don't want to act like I'm just gonna die if I don't have it. You got to give it to me, please. Like you're begging in a way. And when you speak in phrases and terms that sound like you are in a lack for something and like you don't already have it, or you're not grateful for what you have, it's gratitude that makes your prayer high vibrational. It's the begging and pleading that makes your prayer low vibrational. So when you pray, thank God for what you have already. Thank him for what he's bringing into your life. Put that order out there, whatever it is that you're trying to bring into your life, that you're thanking God for in advance because he knows what's in your heart. You're just speaking it into your prayer. And you have to sit back and wait. You don't know if you'll get that, if you ever get it. The throwback to Garth Brooks, the thank God for unanswered prayers, because God's going to give you what you need and not always what you want. The things that you want may not be what you need or what is for your highest good. So that's where you have to trust God and know that he's going to do you right. He's going to get you. You're going to be straight. But some of those things that we put out there are so fantastical, so over the top, that are things that could hurt us. You don't want to sync up with things that he has worked so hard to intervene in your life and get you to let go of, or to bring in something, that's the same, just dressed up in a different package. He's going to elevate you. So don't be mad at him. just know He's going to give you what you need. And a lot of times He's going to put it back together even better than you could ever imagine to have created a prayer for in the first place. So it'll be, much, much better. And you'll be like, oh, okay, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. And I like it. I like it a lot, but trust Him. But yeah, don't throw out that prayers in the spiritual community, anybody that might be thinking of doing this, or anybody that might have heard this in the past from anybody, whether it be spiritual or what, spiritual awareness in your highest vibration would be to pray in a state of gratitude and not a state of lack. Not, please, Lord, will you bring me this? Or, Lord, you got to give me this. And absolutely don't put any time restrictions on it. That's you limiting God. That is you giving Him a time limit to prove something to you. And He doesn't need to prove anything to you. You need to prove to Him that you have blind faith in His plan and His timing. So there's no time limits on it. You have to exert the utmost patience and the utmost trust and faith in His plan. But it's always in His timing. Don't ever put a time limit on it and be arrogant like that. Don't ever pray like, please, you got to send this to me. You got to send this to me now. I need this. I have to have this. All of those things are lack. Thank Him for what you want. Thank Him for bringing in what you need. Thank Him. Be very specific about it. Yeah, that really stood out to me as something that I wanted to correct. Still love you all. Still love the Christians that are doing some not so Christian things, but I'll still call it out when I see it. Doesn't mean I don't love you. It doesn't mean that I'm condemning you in any way, or I'm trying to say that you need to change your whole life. What you're doing is probably with good intention most of the time. But when you start to get really critical, and when you start to condemn and, tell people they're going to hell, or that you are speaking to them in such a judgmental way that you are kind of stepping on God's toes, because you're not the judge. You don't call people, you don't qualify them, you don't condemn them or redeem them. You don't do any of that stuff. It's your job to focus on you and to be the best self that you can be, and to love others. Love God, love yourself, love others, in that order, and everything's going to be just fine. But I promote love on all levels. And anytime, someone steps outside of that, I don't always call it out. I'm not always going to react or, take issue with it. But if I find the time, if it crosses my mind when I'm doing a video, guess what? Front street you go. The other thing that I was thinking about, when people talk about how when you go through a spiritual awakening that it's very lonely, or when people talk about chosen ones and how their path is of loneliness and you feel so isolated, and a lot of it is isolation at first. Just hang in there. I've seen some videos talk about how it's like you're always going to be alone, and just come to realize that and accept it, and that you're going to walk this lonely path, and that's what God has intended for you. Your path is going to be harder. You're not going to conform. A lot of the things when you take the rose-colored glasses off, or when you're awakening, a lot of people have used the analogy that you put these glasses on. They're like magical glasses, and you can't take them off. You can't put your head back in the sand. You can't undo what you know once you know, and you can't force it on anybody else either. So I try not to force. I'm trying to gently nudge. I'm trying to tell you how I did it, how you can still remain grounded and balanced and keep your bearings amongst the things that people will try to say to you if you do voice your spiritual awakening. But a lot of it is isolation. A lot of it is loneliness at first, but you can learn to become your own best friend. And like I say in every single video, you are never alone. Just, in my opinion, learn to be accustomed with that, the feeling that you are surrounded by guidance, you are surrounded by love, you are surrounded by things that you can't see that are magically working in your favor at all times. And you roll deep, especially if you are feeling called, anointed, chosen, whatever you want to call it. I don't want anybody to think that I'm being entitled by saying that, because I would never try to make myself feel like I'm better than any one of you. It is a hard, hard road. And a lot of times I have been like, okay, let's chill on this. Because, like I said, if I hadn't been thrown into the divine intervention of the trauma that forced me into a spiritual awakening, that forced me to change my life, it didn't force me, but I chose to do this. I chose to start reshaping myself so that I could live a healthy life amongst the things that were happening to me that were meant to tear me down, that were meant to make me angry and turn to vices to cover up pain and become the narrative and, give creed, give proof to their smear campaign, and all of those things. Like, I chose to do the exact opposite of that. And in that is to put in a very, very, very long list of work on myself as far as the shadow work. And the plan is to integrate that. The plan is your ego and your shadow, they're never going to go away. But you have to deal with them in a way of unpacking it and healing yourself and dealing with it, forgiving yourself, forgiving others, starting to move differently, to eliminate things, add back with that healthy foundation. You have to integrate those things. They're never fully going to go away. Integrate them. Align yourself with different things going forward. Learn to have it work for you, and in a good way. Like I've used Robin Hood, like stealing from the poor, or stealing from the rich, sorry, and giving to the poor. Not that you're going to steal anything, but that's the way that you will integrate your shadow. You use the things that you've learned when you were in your shadow self to work for you, as in you're going to recognize them when you see them in other people. You're going to recognize it being within you in a way that you know how to use that against people that are trying to use it against you, so that you can play the game better than they do if you have to play the game. Don't react with violence. Don't react in any, spectacle of a way that they want you to, but their moves. Their chess game. You've been playing chess because you're doing things they don't want to put the work in to do. So their game. The name of it. All the different names of it. The characters that are playing the game. Any kind of card that they can pull out to play in the hand of the low vibrational card deck. It already. So that's the way that you're going to use it. You're going to integrate that into yourself, that it is part of who you are. It's something that you went through. It's something that you learned a great deal from. And moving forward, you can use it in a different way, a better way, in a strategic way. So these are all good things, but while you do that, it is necessary that you be alone, because if you're not alone and isolated, you're going to sync up with the people or other people that are just like those people, and you're going to keep calling in that same vibrational match because you haven't put in the work to raise your vibrations to attract new things into your life. And in doing that, the isolation can be lonely, especially in the beginning when you have eliminated a lot of things and you don't have the things that you identified with and thought made you, and the things that you loved the most and held close as a prized possession. Yeah, that part is going to be very lonely, but that doesn't mean that you're always going to be alone. And the progress that it takes to complete these steps is up to you. Absolutely don't rush it. Take the time that you need to deal with those things properly. But it is up to you and how fast or slow that you do it. A lot of people go through several stages of dark night of the soul. I know that I did. I started after my divorce. I had felt the calling. My life got turned upside down. A lot of people were doing things that were crazy, trying to call me crazy because they were covering it up and I was calling it out. And then I eliminated a lot of people from my life. And then I moved and I got a new job and I thought, okay, this is good. This is a good spot. And then I didn't eliminate all of those things from my life. I didn't unpack all of the things and heal from all of the things. And so it came back up again a couple of different times in different stages. So, we're never done with our shadow work. Eventually it will get easier because Your old triggers will become non-triggers because you've dealt with them, and anything pushing that button, any person, any place, anything that would have pushed that trigger and made you feel a lot of emotion, once you have gained that certain level of clarity and healing and change, it won't hurt like that anymore. It's not going to make you cry at a push of a button, a drop of a hat. It will get lesser. Like, you'll have triggers that came back from something that happened in second grade that was repressed, and you didn't know, that it was there until some random thing, some random lady at the store, or something you saw driving down the road will trigger it, and you'll go, oh my gosh, that's something I need to work on. It's a trigger for me that I didn't even know that I needed to work on. It wasn't anything that I even thought was there, or knew that it affected me in that way until this thing happened. That's what the triggers will be after a while. And you'll start to like being by yourself. You will be your own best friend. You will enjoy your company because you will like this version of you much, much better. You love yourself. You pour into your own cup and you fill the cups of others with the overflow. It's all different. It's all a different structure. So the more that you gain awareness and progress in the spiritual awakening and in the shadow work and with the integration and the adding things back and loving yourself more and loving others and learning to forgive, all of those things happening to you over time will make you appreciate every single little thing, and you won't take anything for granted anymore. I hope not, anyway. I know that I won't, because you, for one, know how fast that it can all be taken away, and two, you've worked so damn hard on searching out the things that make you happy, that you already had in your everyday life, that you had stopped noticing, but they mean so much to you now. And three, the things that you've added back that you didn't have before, that are healthy, this new version of you, these new friends that vibrate the same and have put in the same amount of work on themselves and understand how hard the work was, and how much you had to do and how much they had to do and how much they love themselves, and they can mirror that back to others, and how much they love others, and you mirror that same love for others. Like, those people will come to you. So you just have to be patient. It doesn't mean that the life, just because it's not going as fast as you want it, to be patient and keep putting in the work, because those things will eventually find you. Also, when you put things out there, say you have a channel like me, or you vlog, and you blog, you write it down, or you go, to school, or you go to church, or you go, around any person, place, thing where you might mention this work that you're doing on yourself, or it might show. Once you emit those new vibrations, that new flavor of your soup, there will be many fakes that come to you. That's how the devil works. The devil's not going to come ugly and gross and scary. He's going to come dressed up as something that he knows that you want, to try and trick you into going back and to gain that hold on you. So there's going to be lots of people that are in low vibrations that want to pull you back down, want to dim your light, want to get you back into that life, or make you fit into that box that they have told people is your box. And that's all you are, no matter what you say or do, you're lying. So they'll try really hard to get you to where they want you to be, or make you out to be a liar, or make you regress, make you do something that's going to fit their narrative, or to make them feel better about themselves and however they can do it. There's going to be people that study you, and for one, that's their game. You should know that's their game. If they can study you, they can come to you or send someone to you in a package dressed up as thinking that it's something that will make you go back, or pull you back in, or be a trickster spirit in some way. That's how the devil works. If they have an entity attached to them, just like people take probiotics for, your gut health, there are spiritual parasites, just like the parasites that are in your gut, that you have to fight off as well. And having self-awareness, having a deeper walk with God, praying for the things that you want, putting that work in on yourself, and not paying attention to anybody else or caring what they think or what they're doing, only making yourself better than the person that you were yesterday. That's the only way that you're gonna, shed your vices, stop drinking, stop. I'm not saying you can't ever drink, but anyone that drinks a lot is going to create holes in their aura, which is your force field. It is going to make you more susceptible to things being able to attach to you. But the people that have those attachments, those parasites that they have to feed, they feed them for the devil to grow and gain a foothold in your life and in other people's lives and try to dominate. They're going to study you. They're going to try to figure out exactly what you want. They're going to listen to you, your vlogs, your writings, the way that you act, how you dress. They're going to try and figure out exactly what is the flavor of your soup so that they can come dressed up as the complement, the bookend, the pairing, like a wine is paired with food. They're going to try to come dressed up as something that is paired to your liking, so that they can get you to go back, so that they can get you to, give up on yourself. And I told you before, the only way that you can lose your blessings and what God has for you, your gifts, your spiritual, physical inheritance, whatever it is that God has for you, for the hard work that you put in, they're going to try to take that from you, get you to give up on it. So if you give up on yourself or you go back, that's the only way that you could lose. And so that's what the devil's going to try to do. He's going to kind of put a bow on that package to come dressed up as the order that you put out there in the universe for God to bring to you, the thing that you've been patiently waiting on. So no, not always, but most likely the first thing that comes towards you after your isolation and all of that hard work is going to be something that the devil has packaged up, something that these trickster spirits have watched you and have tried to, do their homework, study up, create cliff notes for anyone that might want to help validate their story that they plan, their song and dance, their peddled script. I've had that done a lot of times. People, they'll go around and peddle the script, but normally that's behind your back when they peddle the script. That's the narcissist and how they try to play the victim, and they'll have this script that they go around and peddle to anybody that will listen to try to gain support, get to them before you can tell your story, if you ever plan on telling your story. That's how they operate. But yeah, there's a song and dance that will likely come to you before what God has for you will come to you, and it will be a test. So you need to be ready for that. But I saw a video yesterday talking about how, where is my soul tribe? I've done all this work. And this guy that usually talks about, and who I wanted to make this portion of the video about specifically, because he was like, chosen ones, the path is lonely, the path is bleak, like you're just here to do this work. You're not here to have relationships. You're not here to have love. You're not here to do these things, which I strongly disagree with. I think that it will eventually come. You just have to be patient, and then you have to discern the difference between the devil's package and God's package. But I believe that it will come. But he also made another video which kind of redeemed himself a little bit, and I was like, you're contradicting yourself. But I like this contradiction, because what he said was, you hold this particular vibration with the new work, the new self, the new love that you have for yourself and others, all the work that you've done. You hold this new vibration. It doesn't mean, like I said, people, you don't want a half-baked cake. It's in God's timing when your vibrational match will come to you, whether that be romantic, platonic, whatever, your soul tribe, however your soul tribe looks. But if you were holding that vibration, don't give up. Don't go back. You have to keep holding that vibration. And sometimes you're going to be holding that flame, that light, for a long time. You're going to be emitting this vibration, this frequency, for a long time. The people that are your soul tribe might have not done the same amount of work in the same amount of time as you. They are on their own path. They are realizing things about themselves and doing their own work, and maybe 10 different stages of dark night of the soul, at their own timing. You can't predict that, nor should you run off and say, forget it. I'm going to go back, I'm going to do this, I'm going to throw in the towel, or I'm just going to go with the first thing that comes along, or the second or third that still might be discerned as being something dressed up by the devil, because he's going to keep trying until your thing comes along. Like, the devil attacks true love like nothing else. He is going to try to get you away from that, because, like, say the power couple, even your soulmates, whether that be romantic or platonic, it doesn't have to be. Soulmates can be, your friend, your uncle, your child, like whoever. Soulmate doesn't have to mean romance, but when people that have done a lot of work on themselves, that have gone through all these stages and have been successful at raising their vibration and holding it there for a long time, and are committed to this path and not going back, that they know that they have been called to do what they are doing, and they are gaining traction, they are meeting and having opportunities, doors open, things that are healthy, things, God is putting things into place better than they ever could have imagined, and they're starting to get some of the things that they've prayed for. Like, they don't want to go back on that. And when two or more people, or a bunch of people link up like that, do you know how strong and powerful that is? The devil does not want that to happen. He does not want the power couples. He does not want the soulmates. He does not want the soul tribes. Because that is devastation to his, seek, kill, and destroy. All of the lies that he's told to you, you're not believing them anymore. You're not believing that you are this thing that he tried to make you out to be. He destroyed your self-confidence. He destroyed your self-worth with all of the toxic love that you're accepting, and the toxic cycles that you were stuck in, unable to move forward from. You're moving forward. You know your worth. You love yourself. You've seen how beautiful this life is, this slice of heaven on earth that you've created for yourself. And when people enter your life, no matter how long it may take them, don't give up on that. They're coming. When he sees the strength that you have in those kind of numbers, if you were powerful by yourself, you're a force when you're together. What is that? That Neo song. So yeah, he's going to work extra hard with all of his agents in putting a stop to that and getting you to give up on yourself or go back. So even though this life is hard, even though if you feel chosen, anointed, called, keep putting that work in, and keep holding that flame, keep holding that frequency, keep holding that vibration, because others will eventually match it. Even if they didn't reach it in the same amount of time that you did, they're still out there, they're still worthy, they're still gonna do it. You're still gonna find each other. So don't lose hope. Just keep holding it. Keep holding it. Keep setting that example. Keep that bar high, because it will happen. It's not going to be a lonely life forever. Eventually the triggers will stop being triggers. Eventually the shadow work will be less. Even though it's still steady, it still will be less. Nothing will have been in vain, and everything will be worth it in the long run. And because of this beautiful new life that you've built for yourself, it's not so lonely once you've progressed. It gets better in the wait. Even though it is a weighted wait, it gets better, because you will enjoy the things around you, and you will enjoy the company of yourself, and knowing that you're never alone anyway. You're never alone anyway. So the weighted wait is not so bad when you have done all that work. So don't get depressed. Don't think that it's not worth it. Don't think that, oh, I just can't wait any longer. They're coming. They just are not on the same path as you are, exactly, but it's a complementary path. It is a lovely path when you do indeed unite, because you will. So don't give up on that. It's still worth it. And in the meantime, have fun. Be playful. Find something to do that pleases your inner child every day, like the swing set, like coloring, like dancing, like singing, like roller skating, like whatever it is that pleases your heart, that makes you happy inside. Do that, because when you surrender to the flow, when you surrender to just going with whatever God has for you, still keep putting in that work, holding that flame, that's when the miracles happen. That's when the miracles happen. So enjoy that. Don't forsake anything that's happening in any moment throughout the day. Appreciate that you woke up and every single thing that was about that day, even if you were all by yourself, because guess what? This person that is not by themselves in the spiritual, that might be by themselves in the physical, is better than any version of yourself that has ever existed before this moment right now. And you have to love that and have to appreciate that and be grateful for it, because you could still be wherever you were. Wherever you were that you were miserable, that you weren't being appreciated, where you didn't love yourself and your self-worth was low, your self-confidence was low, the people around you were giving you crumbs, dangling carrots, abusing you, whatever it is that was happening to you before this version of you existed, you are not there anymore, and you're not going back to it. So love that immensely, if nothing else. That is beautiful in and of itself. I love you. God loves you. You're never alone. I'll see you later. Bye.